Hi friends, we're going to get started today with our full body stretch by just coming to our knees, placing the hands on the knees and just finding some deep grounding breaths, whether you're doing this in the morning or at the end of a long day, or maybe you just need a midday little reset. Just start with some deep breaths. Just welcome yourself to this time that you've committed to yourself, this space that you've given yourself to just unwind and stretch out. Find a comfortable seat. I'm going to have my legs out in front of me, but you can do crisscross, whatever's comfortable. And we're going to just start with our wrists. So with the wrist flexors, we're going to take that right hand, pulling the fingers back with the left hand. And just feeling that stretch up the arm. The arm is outstretched in front of you. Remembering to just stay connected to your breathing. This is an area we often don't think about. Go ahead and switch, doing the same thing on the other hand, pulling those fingers back gently, might I add. And you're going to feel a sensation in the hand and in the arm. They're things we use every day, and sometimes we don't even think to stretch them out. So it's nice to get a little stretch in the wrist and hand and arm area. Let's go ahead and go the opposite direction, taking that right hand again, except you're going to use that opposite hand to pull the fingers towards your body. So this is going to be working on our extensor. Along the forearm, you're going to feel a little something, maybe even in your wrist. Please don't mind my arm. If you are new here, I'm hyper mobile, hyper extended in my arms. So my straight arm is not your straight arm. Go ahead and switch, doing the same thing on the other hand, pulling those fingers towards the body. And just staying connected to the sensation you're feeling and your breath. All right, now friends, we're going to make our way into a nice ankle stretch. So if you need a block, you're welcome to grab one to place underneath your knees. It just makes this pose a little easier to hold. And you're just going to shift back into your heels with your hands behind you. Maybe you only have room to get onto your fingertips. Maybe you can go full flat on the hand on the mat. Find what works. And that slight lift in the knee is going to tilt us back a little bit further until you start to feel a stretch in the top of the foot and the ankle. This is a little bit more intense, so yes, it is meant to feel that way. It's an area we don't think about. And I'm here for a full body stretch. Now we're going to go opposite. We're going to get into our toes. So make sure the toes are like curled underneath you, as if you are in releve but on your knees. So the toes are right underneath you, and you're just in a toe stand, toe squat, feeling that stretch in the foot, in the toes. Once again, this is an area we tend not to think about in terms of stretches, so it's going to feel a little more intense for some. Just really breathe through it, honor what you're feeling. And just remember that a little discomfort means sometimes that's where we need some work or we need some release. Stay there and release. Awesome job, friends. We're going to set ourselves up to come onto our bellies. And you're going to place your left arm in front of you, rest your head on that arm. Then go ahead and just take that right foot and right arm and just pull that foot towards your glute. as best you can, trying to keep your pelvis and those hips on your mat. So if you feel like your butt has to pop up or your hips are trying to scoop up off of the mat, I want you to think of the opposite direction on your next exhale and think of pressing the pelvis into the mat as you go for a nice quad stretch on that right side. We often don't think about doing a quad stretch lying down, but I find this pretty convenient. Slowly release that foot, switch arms, rest the head on the right forearm now, take that left foot and left hand, and find your quad stretch on the other side. Gently let go of that left foot, staying on our bellies here. We're gonna come up onto our elbows. Your elbows should be underneath your shoulders. You're gonna take that right arm and slide it behind your left, and you're gonna notice that you kind of make almost a little knot with your own upper body. We call it a bow tie. And just go ahead and keep that right palm facing the ceiling, since I know you can't see my right hand, and that left hand is flat on the ground. And you can rest your chin, your head on your shoulder as you feel the stretch in your shoulders. If this is really intense, breathe through it. For me, it's really intense because my shoulders and my traps get really tight. So this is something I definitely need. And sometimes it does cause a little discomfort because that area of my body is extremely tight. Wonderful job, friends. Let's take a beat, take a deep breath before we switch to the other side. Sitting up on those elbows, taking that left arm now behind the right, keeping that left palm up towards the ceiling and the right goes the opposite direction. And once you've kind of wiggled your way into your stretch and you've extended both arms as best you can, rest your chin on your arm and feel that stretch. Some people might feel it a bit in their neck, some might feel it directly in their traps, some might feel it in other areas of the upper back. Kind of feel it out and just remember to breathe. Start to come out of your stretch. We're going to make our way up into a nice seated position and then set ourselves up for a nice straddle pose. So opening up the legs as wide as you can here. Now, you don't have to have a perfect flexed foot here, but what I would like to ask of you here is to make sure that your toes are facing the ceiling. Oftentimes when we come into a stretch like straddle, we want to let the toes fall towards the front of the room. And I want you to do your best to try and keep them upright towards the ceiling. Now you might notice, ooh, wow, my groin area, my inner thigh area is really giving me a lot of friction right now. There's a lot of tension here. Totally normal. Reach your hands out in front of you as far as it can go. So if that means 2 taps out in front of you and you can't get very far, that's fine. As long as you are opening up yourself and your body to the sensation, your body will slowly start to know what's going on and relax in those areas so that you'll find that you'll be able to come into a deeper stretch as time goes by. Gently walk your hands back towards your body and gently and slowly, so you don't hurt yourself, just peel the legs back in. Be very intentional about moving slowly from one stretch to the next. Coming onto our backs here, let's just give ourselves a moment, bringing the feet a little bit wider than your mat and then letting your knees fall inwards. Very simple stretch. You can rest your hands on your belly or by your sides. We're not here too long. And this is kind of like a muscle like we kind of forget we have, right? If you feel the sensation, you're kind of like, whoa, what's that? It feels good, but whoa. Yeah, I was really aiming for full body today. So we're getting all the nooks and crannies as best we can within these 30 minutes. All right, friends, go ahead and bring that right knee towards the chest. And when you're ready, go ahead and find a nice reclined hamstring stretch here. Your left foot is flat on the mat, knee is bent. Just do your best to use your exhales as best you can as moments to make a little bit of headway closer towards your body. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to use my inhales for a little bit of a tension against my hand. And then when I exhale, I let that tension release and pull the foot a little bit closer towards the chest. It may not even feel like you're pulling it that much closer, but trust me, there's headway and progress being made. And then when you feel like you've got a good enough distance, just hold it. Beautiful job, guys. We're going to let the knees drop in once more, and then we're going to come to the other side for our hamstring stretch on the left. So just follow along with me here. Let's go ahead and pull that left foot towards the chest, and then finding a nice hamstring stretch, grabbing behind the ankle, behind the calf, behind the knee, wherever is comfortable for you, wherever is accessible. And remember that a slight bend in that leg that we are stretching is totally normal and it's totally fine. The leg does not have to be perfectly straight. Great job, friends. We are going to find our figure 4 stretch. So go ahead and take that right foot on top of the left knee. And you're welcome to pull, like kind of pull your hands through the hole that your legs are making by either grabbing underneath that left knee or on top of that left knee. Whatever works for you. I like to grab under because it just gives a little room for my elbow to be able to press against my right knee. And that elbow pressing against my right knee pushes it away from my body, giving a nice deep stretch in the hip, all while I'm gently trying to pull that left knee closer and closer towards the chest. Between those two actions, this is just great for the outer hip. For some, you might even feel it in your glute. If those areas tend to get super tight for you, remember, that's just a message from your body, and just hold that stretch as best you can so that your body can really feel the sensation, get to know what it feels like to be able to release. Alrighty, friends, let go of that stretch, and then we're going to do figure 4 on the other side. So that left foot on top of the right knee, make sure that left foot is flexed, because you want to protect your knee. And gently pulling the knee towards you while letting that elbow push that bent knee away from the body. This can just feel like such a relief, especially if you sit a lot or have had a long day at your desk chair. Ooh, this is like the perfect stretch for that. It's also great for my runners. You know, as we run, we definitely want to get some activation in those glutes. So they might need a little help there. Wonderful job, everyone. Let's go ahead and pull the right knee towards the leg, and this time we're going to straighten our left leg out in front of us, and just finding a nice stretch across the body. Just go ahead and let that right knee fall over to the opposite side, feeling a nice stretch in the low back. For some, you might feel it in the outer hip. You're welcome to stretch out that right arm, looking towards the ceiling. This also feels nice after a long day of either standing or sitting. Our lower backs sometimes won't always yell and scream at us, but they're an area we can't forget about, because it can get tight so quick, especially for more sedentary people. If you work in an office, or if you just stand in one place for a lot of the day, this can be really helpful. I know that felt really nice, but let's bring that knee back to the center. Let that leg extend. And we're going to find the same thing on the other side, pulling the left knee towards the chest and then letting that knee fall across the body. Keeping both shoulders on the mat. Chest nice and wide and open, facing the ceiling, heart towards the sky. Awesome job, friends. Bring that knee back towards the center. Let the legs outstretch for a moment. Shake it out. Just kind of check in with yourself, and see how you feel. I know my hips feel a lot looser right now. Gently roll up towards a nice, comfortable seat. And we're going to end today with some deep breaths together. And we're going to do that by scooping with a big inhale towards the ceiling, sealing that energy, and exhale, heart center. 2 more times. Let's do that. Big inhale. Exhale, heart center. Last big one. Inhale, all things good. Exhale, anything that no longer serves you. Thank you so much for joining me in this full body stretch today. I really hope you feel a bit more refreshed. Be well, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next video.